Now we'll move on to the next topic, assumptions. Now what are the assumptions of the law? The very first assumption is rationality. Now what do you mean by rationality? That means the consumer who is consuming the commodity should be rational. They should not be irrational while consuming the commodity. Okay, that means they should be their reaction should be justified. Fine. Now next is ordinal utility. Now what do you mean by ordinal utility? We have already studied that our utility is a psychological term. So we cannot measure it. Psychology, can you measure the psychology somebody is feeling? No, you cannot measure the feelings, you cannot measure the psychology of a person. But what we are doing, what we are measuring utility in terms of units. Units, that means 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. So that is a very big assumption which we are doing over here. Next is non-statity. Now what do you mean by statity? Statity I have already explained. That means a point where we go for saturation. Fine. Now it is also assumed that consumer oversupplies with goods consumed by him. Okay. So what happened at one point of time, they are saturated. That means satisfied, or you can say where a point where the bond goes zero. So therefore the consumer will always prefer a large amount over a smaller amount. Now what that means, large amount over a smaller amount? See, when we keep on consuming a large amount, ultimately by consuming a large amount only we will come to zero. Okay, but in reality we are all, if we say that we should be rational, then definitely consumption will be rational. So there is no point of statity, there is no point of zero and then going negative. Okay, but still it is an assumption. Next is transitivity of choice. Now what that means? It means consumer wants A to B and B to C. She must prefer A to C. Now what happened? We presume that when we are transferring the things are transferring from A to B. Fine. What if a consumer prefers A to C directly? That will be transitivity. That means lot of transfer of choice. So that will again create one assumption. Next is diminishing marginal rate of substitution. Now what do you mean by diminishing marginal rate of substitution? We have already studied that when we keep on consuming the things, the demand for the commodity, that means the requirement for the commodity goes down. Now here consumer needs more to consume. That means he keeps on consuming more and more goods and for another goods. Now ultimately what happened, he is prepared to give up one. That means suppose if I am consuming X and Y, two commodities together, I am ready to compromise with X commodity. Okay, first commodity, I will sacrifice first commodity for the second commodity. So this is diminishing marginal rate of substitution. That means we are substituting some other goods for other. Okay, so this was the assumptions. Now next is indifference schedule. Now what do you mean by indifference schedule? See, indifference, that means we are always showing two commodities. Okay, you have already studied production possibility curve. I hope you remember, right? In that what happened, you produce you produce two goods. Okay, now for one goods, if you want to produce another good, you sacrifice the production of one good. Same way here it goes for consumption. If we are consuming two goods at a time, so to reduce the quantity, that means to get ourselves satisfied at the same level, we reduce the consumption of first good and consume second good on that behalf. So that is what indifference. That means we are measuring two commodities together. Now that is what, when we will show this kind of satisfaction, or you can say level of two commodities in a tabular form. So that is indifference schedule. Okay, so now what is indifference schedule? It can be defined as a schedule that shows various combination of two goods that gives the consumer same level of satisfaction. Do remember, after consuming both the goods, we get same level of consumption. Okay. The combination A, B, C, D, that is what we will see in the curve down. Okay, they provide equal level of satisfaction to the consumer at every point of time. Fine. So this is indifference schedule. Now what is indifference map? Do remember, when we show this kind of schedule or this type of diagram, you will see the diagram. When we will see the diagram, and if we have number of diagram in the same graph, okay, I'll show you down how it is. So just remember that indifference curve is a half curve, half concave shape, concave shape. Okay, so it is concave from the origin. So when we have three indifference curve on the same graph, that is indifference map. So it is a group or a set of indifference curve, each one of which represents a given level of satisfaction. So this is indifference map. Okay. Now you can very well see the schedule. See schedule when it is showing bundle A, that means first A point, if you see goods X is 1 and goods Y is 10. Now here we cannot find the marginal rate of substitution. Why? Because it is neutral. Now if we say second, that means at point B, if you see the goods X, that is 2, and goods Y, that is 7. Now tell me, how much is the change in goods X? 1. Okay. And what is the change in goods Y? That is 3. So what is the ratio? When you consume one more unit of goods X, you sacrifice 3 units of goods Y. So that is marginal rate of substitution of X and Y. Same likewise, if you go on consuming, that means if you increase one more unit of goods X, the consumption of goods Y again decrease to Y. Now what is the difference? 2. That means again if you consume one more unit of goods X, you will sacrifice 2 more unit of goods Y. So ratio goes 1:2. Likewise it goes on. Now down you can see the indifference curve. See, there are different points A, B, C, D. Now do remember, this is a concave shape curve, okay, which you can see very well. Now every point A, B, C, D, all the point is a point of consumer's equilibrium with different ratios of the commodity, both two commodities. Okay. Now this is indifference curve. Do remember, what is indifference curve? Two commodities. It is a comparison of two commodities at every point of indifference curve. It is a consumer's equilibrium. Okay. Now down you can see same indifference curve. See, if it is written IC, IC is what? IC is indifference curve. Now you can see IC1, IC2, IC3, IC4. That means indifference curve 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if we have such kind of diagram, that means 3, 4 indifference curve on in a same graph. This is indifference map. I hope it is clear. Now marginal rate of substitution. How marginal rate of substitution is been defined? I have already explained you that we check out that when we increase the consumption of one good, how much we sacrifice the consumption of another goods. That is what we check. That is marginal rate of substitution. So that is, it can be defined as the amount of goods sacrificed to obtain an additional unit of goods X. Okay. So without affecting the level of satisfaction. I told you each and every point is a level of satisfaction. So your satisfaction level is not affected. Only consumption ratio affects. That means you are consuming one more unit of goods X and you are sacrificing some units of goods Y. I hope marginal rate of substitution is clear. Now we'll start off with budget line. So what is budget line? It is the line that shows different possible combinations of two goods that can be purchased by the consumer given in his income and at the given market price of the goods. So that is budget line. Okay. Now how we decide a budget line? I have already explained you the budget means the amount which you have in your pocket, or you can say the purchasing power of yours. Now with that purchasing power, how much amount, how much unit you can afford of one goods, and how much unit of goods you can afford of other goods. Now that is those two combinations together, that is we say the budget of that particular goods. Now we can see the example. Before we have seen X and Y commodity, here we can see in clothes and food. Now what is your budget? What is the amount which you have in your hand? That is 200. We have assumed it. Okay, so that is 200 rupees is in your hand. Now what kind of combination you will prefer in case of commodity, first commodity, and in case of second commodity? Likewise, the price of first commodity is 40, the price of second commodity is 20. Now we will check out the different ratios. Okay, but the amount should not exceed 200. Why? Because the last budget of mine is 200. This is what I have shown in the schedule. Different combinations of both the commodities. Fine. But my amount, that means ultimate purchasing power, ultimate spending of money is 200. That is I have shown in the schedule. Now very well you can see the same thing in the diagram. You can see that the consumer is attaining an equilibrium with different combination of first good and second good. See, I have shown it at different point A, B, C, D, E and F. Now these are the different point of equilibrium where consumer is at satisfaction at each and every point of Okay, the only thing is with different consumptions. Now we'll move on to the next topic, consumers equilibrium through indifference curve. Same it is budget line only, but now we will see that how consumer attains equilibrium in indifference curve. Okay, now a consumer is in equilibrium when he maximizes his utility. Fine, maximizes his utility, that means when he consumes more maximum amount of units of the commodity in a given income. That means the income which he has and the price which is available in the market. Okay. Now indifference curve approach explains consumers equilibrium with the use of consumers indifference map. Okay, do remember when we check out consumers equilibrium in indifference curve approach, okay, so we have to check out with indifference map. Now why indifference map? Because we will show that one indifference curve is on my budget. Okay, that means to the budget limit. Another indifference curve is below the budget limit, and one indifference curve is above the budget limit. That means how much indifference curve you are showing in one graph? 3. One on your budget line, one below your budget line, another above your budget line. Okay, so when you are showing 3 indifference curve on the same graph, that means it is a indifference map. So that is what it is. It says that we can show this in through indifference curve ka map. Down you can see I have drawn the diagram. See the slanting straight line, okay, from y-axis to x-axis, that is my budget line. Now you can see one indifference curve which is touching the budget line. That means that is the point of consumption of the commodity where it falls within my budget. That means the consumer is in equilibrium with his income level, price level and the combination of both the goods. Okay, so that is a perfect consumer equilibrium according to the budget line, or you can say indifference curve approach. Now the one which is down the budget line, that is below my budget, that means I still have money left in my hand and that is why I will spend more. That means I will move on to the IC2, that is indifference curve 2. if I'll check out IC3, that is indifference curve 3, which is above my budget line, that is out of my reach, out of my purchasing power, I will not prefer that. Okay, now I have already studied the marginal rate of substitution. Now what is my marginal rate of substitution of X and Y? I check out the ratio of first commodity, then the ratio of another commodity, that is PX1. PX is what? Price of X commodity. PXY, what is that? Price of Y commodity. Okay, so this is what the marginal rate of substitution ka formula is. Now the consumer cannot purchase any combination which lies to the right of the budget. That is what I said, that is indifference curve 3, right of the budget. Fine. And if we will check out the below budget, that means which is left to the budget line, the down one, indifference curve 1. Now that is still I am left with some amount of money and I can still go ahead for purchase. Okay, so my satisfaction level is point E. Okay, now I am satisfied at this point of time. Now this ends the chapter Consumers Equilibrium.